Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So yesterday HDFC Bank corrected by 4.5% and there was massive panic in the market. क्या लूट गए, बर्बाद हो गए, इतना पैसा लगा था HDFC Bank में, सब कुछ लूट गया, this that stuff. But if you actually study the stock fundamentally, there is nothing wrong and a lot of people aggregated, built more positions. I built more positions. Now this is not a stock recommendation that you go and buy HDFC Bank, but in order to take advantage of these type of opportunities, how you should think fundamentally. Are there some specific metrics that you can look at? How exactly to understand if something is overvalued, undervalued? Because if you don't understand things fundamentally, you will never be able to take advantage. Part 2 is that the stock market has started to run. So you might have been seeing your portfolio in green and bhai, wo pitega ek point pe, right? So then you need to have like little bit of conviction in your portfolio. Key what type of stocks not to keep in your portfolio at this juncture. So without wasting any time, let me just quickly tell you 2-3 very concrete things, right? So for example, if you take a look at Paras Defense, okay? So right now the stock PE is 201, right? Now, agar fundamentals are not supporting this PE, then it makes sense to cut your position on these type of stocks. That's very basic, okay? Now on HDFC Bank, what is the situation, right? So HDFC Bank PE, what is the situation like? Right now the stock PE is trading somewhere around 19.6. Now this is not very high PE. Why am I saying that this is not very high PE? So for that you need to go to fundamental analysis, look at technicals a little bit, build your understanding a little bit more. So these type of fundamental points you must understand. So कुछ चीजें हैं जैसे HDFC Bank का basic PE, जैसे अगर even if you are new to investing, you would have heard that if a stock has below 25 PE, then it is typically considered to be inexpensive. Now, is this correct? Absolutely not. But generally ऐसा बोला जाता है कि अगर 25 से कम, 30 से कम PE है, तो generally it's okay PE, right? But अगर 30 से ऊपर PE है, तो then it is a very high PE. So फिर आप उस हिसाब से देखोगे तो some stocks, for example, जैसे मैं आपको नेस्ले दिखाता हूँ, right? What you will observe is this fact कि आप ये देखो, right? And इसका PE ratio देखना, it has always existed. Like for example, if you go to 2009, since then it is at 38 PE and its PE has been constantly rising, right? So by that logic, you would have never purchased Nestle after 2008-9, right? So how do we study this entire PE concept? जैसे कुछ stocks होते हैं जिसके बारे में बहुत public information होती है, जैसे HDFC Bank. Now these are easier to understand, easier to implement, easier to figure out. But when it comes to micro caps, how do you study the PE ratio there? What are some things that you should keep in mind? How do you do that? So I will pick a live case study also on that and I will help you decode that, right? Please do not consider this as a stock investing recommendation by any chance. I'm just picking examples and teaching you something very, very fundamental. जैसे कि आपका जो भी stocks पड़े हो portfolio में, you can do the same. So I've picked a company called as Nandan Denim. It has given a lot of run up in the last few months. So I will analyze it. I will help you understand how to parse through the PE in context of the fundamental ratios. So let's begin that analysis. So first and foremost, let us quickly understand the concept of PE. Now concept of PE simply means that, for example, if the PE ratio is 10, right, then it means that you are paying a price of 10 to make 1 rupees, or it would mean, in other words, that it will take you 10 years for you to get your money back if the company retains or maintains this earning of 1 rupee over the next 10 years. अब इसमें होता क्या है कि see, we look at the current PE. What we should be looking at is the forward looking PE. Now forward looking का मतलब क्या होता है कि at what rate are your earnings going to go up? Now a stock can be at 200 PE, but if its earnings are going to go up really, really fast, then what will happen, right? Then if the price does not increase of the stock, then the overall PE ratio will fall, right? So this is a point that people typically miss and ये textbook में भी नहीं बताई जाती चीजें, right? So unless you are a fundamental practical investor, you would not get this point. Now अब होता क्या है कि if you are holding stocks like HDFC Bank, right? अब आप इसका PE देखो, so PE is like 20, okay? But the important point is that here the market cap is 12 lakh crore, 12.5 lakh crore. So this is a large cap company, large firm. Now for large cap companies, a PE of 20, 25, 30, जो भी PE उसका निकल के आ रहा हो, जो baseline PE है, that should not fluctuate too much from its baseline, right? कि for example यहाँ पे अगर आप इसका typical PE देखो, so the typical PE comes out to be around 25. It fell all the way till 17 के 18 के आसपास के PE था. Now it is coming back up to its PE. अभी ये 20 के आसपास है, right? So there is a room of PE expansion on even like HDFC Bank, despite it being a large cap company. आई होप दैट दिस पॉइंट इज क्लियर, क्योंकि हम लोग सिर्फ पी की डिबेट करके छोड़ देते हैं कि 25 होना चाहिए पी, 30 होना चाहिए, 35 होना चाहिए, 40 होना चाहिए. नाउ कम्स द सेकंड नेचुरल क्वेश्चन कि भाई अच्छा व्हाट शुड बी द करेक्ट पी ऑफ HDFC बैंक. आई डोंट नो. ओके, नो वन नोज व्हाट द करेक्ट पी ऑफ HDFC बैंक शुड बी. होता ही है टिपिकली, राइट, आई मीन फ्रॉम अ सिक्लिसिटी पर्सपेक्टिव, कि जैसे अगर आप प्राइस देखो, कि प्राइस मूवमेंट अगर आप देखोगे तो आपको क्या पता चलेगा, आपको ये पता चलेगा कि इफ यू पिक दिस एंटायर ब्लॉक, राइट फ्रॉम 2021, राइट, all the way till now, the stock has moved in this range, right? But what has happened to its PE ratio, right? The PE ratio has gone down. Now, an important point, and ऐसे fundamental point समझ के ही you can make money in the stock market. In case you are a new beginner, again I would encourage you to join my membership community on YouTube. It's fundamentally taught every day. I give real-time information to all of you guys so that whatever concepts I am teaching you, it sticks. It's not a stock recommendation community. It's a community where fundamental investing is taught systematically as per the current trends. Okay. So anyways, what has happened in this entire zone as we move from zone 1 to zone 2, right? These last three and a half years. Well, it's very simple that the price of the stock stayed constant in a range, but the earnings kept on going up. So what happened to the PE ratio? The PE ratio fell. Now what is happening to the PE ratio? अगर आप कल का दिन छोड़ दो तो it's very simple, right? कि यहाँ पे आप देखो तो ये PE ratio गिर गया था. So right from here to here the PE ratio had fallen. Now it has started to jump back up. अब थोड़ा फ्लक्चुएशन आ गया यार 4-5% का. So it's not end of the world. Now I'll say कि अक्षत, that is your opinion. You have been speaking good things about HDFC Bank for the last 4-5 years. ऐसा क्यों खा लिया HDFC बैंक में? भाई सी देखो, जब प्राइस राइज होना शुरू होती है तो देन यू आर अनेबल टू कैच इट. दैट्स द बॉटम लाइन. एंड इफ यू हैव नो strength in terms of investing stocks or buying stocks when they are at their bad, you do not deserve them at their best. Okay, so that is the simple basic point that you must understand. And जो भी sensible investors है सबने भर के खरीदा है, ऐसा उसमें कोई दिक्कत वाली बात नहीं है. Here are the price targets that have been given by different banks and rating agencies. तो ये तो हो गई HDFC बैंक की बात. So मैं अब आपको ज़्यादा नहीं बताता, right? This is the bottom line. Now HDFC बैंक टाइप के स्टॉक्स हम होल्ड करके रख सकते हैं, right? I mean there is no issue there. Now let me further expand our conversation regarding stocks जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा information नहीं है. And these are the type of stocks which are called as micro cap, क्योंकि इनका size कम होता है. So okay, so let's pick a case study of Nandan Denim. Why am I picking this firm? Is this a recommendation to buy? Absolutely not. I'm just picking it as a juxtaposition. Now the word of the day today is juxtaposition. Let me know what does that mean. So as a juxtaposition to HDFC Bank. अब जैसे HDFC Bank के बारे में आपको भर के information मिलेगी, right? But many of you might be holding a lot of small cap, mid cap, micro cap का type of companies. And इसमें आप P देखोगे कि यार 15 का P है, खरीद लेता हूँ, right? बहुत कम P है. Might not be the right decision. You cannot simply pick or reject a stock based on its PE ratio. You have to do multiple layers of analysis. So I will try to teach you some, especially on stocks जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा information नहीं है, right? So therefore I am picking this case study. And इसको आप थोड़ा सा ध्यान से सुन लेना. And again, not a stock recommendation कि आपको जाके खरीदना है and all that stuff. आपके पास 100 stocks पड़े होंगे, right? I don't know. Now you can apply the same framework, same logic in terms of parsing through the stock. So please listen it with that intent. So यहाँ पे जैसे for example सबसे पहली चीज़ जो आपको नोट करनी होती है किसी भी स्टॉक के बारे में, you must note its market cap. Now here we had seen that the market cap of HDFC Bank was 12.5 lakh crore. Okay, and यहाँ पे कितना है, right? It's like very small. So यहाँ पे PE मान के चलो यार 150 भी होता तो उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Why? Because when it comes to micro cap, small cap companies, what is the logic or what is the funda there, right? So imagine that a company is doing only 10 crores of revenues per year, okay, or 15 crores of revenues. अब भाई 15 से 30 करना is not that complicated. That company can grow by 100% its revenues or profits in one single year. So micro caps जो move करते हैं वो ऊपर भी बहुत जल्दी जाते हैं और नीचे भी बहुत जल्दी जाते हैं. So please, number one point is that do not worry too much about the PE ratio of microcap companies. What you should be worried about is its earning potential. Now this is what you should be worrying about. ये earning बढ़नी चाहिए आगे चल के profitably. They should be investing money in the improving their fixed capacity, etc. Now small cap, mid cap category investing is extremely profitable. Also it's very dangerous. So it is very important to understand these things fundamentally. I do run a course. In case you guys are interested, you can check it out. The next batch is starting soon. I have a specific dedicated section to small cap and mid cap investing, which I have cultivated after a lot of research. My team is writing these type of research reports, which is only exclusively available to my students. So these type of deep analysis also we will be sending, which will help you sharpen your investment style. So anyways, coming to the point, the first key thing that you should be really worried about is not the PE ratio, but the earnings potential. अगर आपके पास अभी स्टॉक्स बड़े हुए हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल जैसे पारस डिफेंस का मैंने आपको एग्जाम्पल दिया था, राइट? सो लेट मी जस्ट क्विकली गो बैक टू पारस डिफेंस. व्हाट यू विल नोटिस इज कि यार इसका स्टॉक पी इज 201, राइट? ओके फाइन, पी इज वेरी वेरी हाई. व्हाट अबाउट द अर्निंग पोटेंशियल? तो आप ऐसे देखो कि यार अर्निंग इसकी बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ रही है, राइट? कि इफ़ यू गो ऑन क्वार्टर बाय क्वार्टर बेसिस, सो आपको पता चलेगा कि रेवेन्यूज तो यहाँ पे इतनी हैं, राइट? प्रॉफिट भी ऐसे कोई बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं बढ़ गए, राइट? आई मीन ऑलमोस्ट द सेम लेवल्स ऑफ प्रॉफिट, बट द स्टॉक प्राइस हैज गॉन क्रेजी. ओके, सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल हियर यू कैन सी द पी रेशियो, हियर यू कैन सी द प्राइस, राइट? कि एक पॉइंट पे दिस यूज टू ट्रेड एट हाउ मच, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन 2024 अप्रैल द स्टॉक प्राइस वॉज 705, राइट? नाउ इट इज एट 1500. भाई ऐसा क्या धमाल हो गया, राइट? सो दैट इज अ सिंपल पॉइंट दैट यू मस्ट आस्क. एक दो क्वार्टर में अगर आपको आंसर नहीं मिलता, क्योंकि कई बार होता क्या है कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल दीज नंबर्स दैट यू सी, these get updated by next quarter. They might have taken some orders which were reflected in their order book but not on their realized revenues. So आपको वो check करना पड़ेगा, right? So I mean that is something of a call that you need to make. Am I selling Paras Defense? Am I buying Paras Defense? What is it that I'm doing? I will reveal the answer towards the end of the video. Okay. So okay, but I hope that the first point is clear, that what you should think that hey, when it comes to small cap, micro cap type of companies like Nandan Denim, पी रेशियो देखना बेकार है, राइट? आई मीन जस्ट पी के बेसिस पे ज़्यादा ना खरीदें. लुक एट दी ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल. सो यहाँ पे इफ यू लुक एट दी ग्रोथ पोटेंशियल, रेवेन्यूज इसके बढ़ रहे हैं, राइट? आई मीन इट्स अ प्रॉफिटेबल कंपनी, सो दिस सीम्स पॉजिटिव फ्रॉम दैट एंगल. सेकंड इज दैट यू मस्ट डू अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस. नाउ इंडस्ट्री एनालिसिस मतलब बहुत सिंपल सा होता है कि हाउ इज इट दैट द कंपनी इज मेकिंग मनी? Is it in a high profit margin type of a business or a low profit margin type of a business? This is question number 2 that you must ask. Now see, when it comes to normal garments manufacturing, that typically grows at 3-4% a year. Now that's a very slow moving industry. But Nandan Denim, as the name itself suggests, that this is into denim, okay? And denim industry की growth आपने देखनी है. So here I have picked up some data and you guys can check it out. So 41% of the company's money comes from its denim segment, right? Now this is a segment that grows or is growing at roughly 10 to 12%. There are 2 more updates, so I will share these updates with you. So इस तरीके की reports I am also building right now for my students. So for example, यहाँ से आप देखोगे कि there are 2 things that are happening. So one is that India has become the second largest producer of man-made fiber after China. Now this is going to define the next layer of innovation in fabric manufacturing. इसमें आप लोग कितनी cost lower कर सकते हो, efficiently आप manufacture कर सकते हो, etc. etc. So a lot of business will come from there, and Nandan Denim is already doing well on this line. Point number 3, you need to understand that what is recently happening with the stock. Now recently the company gave a lot of run up and the promoters sold some bit of their holding. Why? Because the stock split was there. And जब micro cap, mid cap companies होती हैं, just because promoter has sold it does not make it bad or good. You again have to do deeper research on that कि भाई promoters ने बेच दी, okay great, but who bought it? So again you have to look for that answer. कई बार मार्केट में हवा ही उड़ जाती है कि प्रमोटर ने बेच दिया, खत्म कहानी, बेकार स्टॉक होगा. नो, promoters sell their stake all the time. You need to understand for what reason are they selling and how credible the promoters are. Now usually जो conglomerate companies होती हैं, they have something called as corporate risk. Now corporate entity risk का मतलब होता है, जैसे for example अदानी stocks के बारे में आप बात करो. So अदानी group has multiple listed companies. Now if some issue is going on one part of their business, कि भाई उन्हें one part of the business से निकल गए अदानी ग्रुप, या बहुत ज़्यादा equity बेच दी अपनी and all that stuff, it might be bad for their rest of the 7-8 remaining businesses in the equity market, because वो market में फिर brand image खराब होती है, right? So that is a simple point. So again, like if you are investing in micro cap companies, always look for corporate promoter holding कि उनका overall क्या है system, and ये information आपको कहाँ पे मिलती है. तो for example, if you go on Nandan Denim, okay, and if you look at this documents tab, तो आपको information मिल जाएगी, या तो annual reports मिलेंगी, या आपको कौन मिलेगा, तो आपको इस तरीके का एक chart मिल जाएगा जिसमें आप पूरी history समझ सकते हो about the promoter group. And if you feel that the promoter is clean, उनका नाम गूगल कर लेना, ओके, देख लेना उनकी कितनी कंपनीज हैं, हाउ मेनी ऑफ देम आर लिस्टेड, नॉन लिस्टेड, व्हाट हैज बीन द परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द पास्ट कंपनीज. सो डू दिस लेयर ऑफ एनालिसिस, इट विल हेल्प यू अंडरस्टैंड मोर. बट दिस लेवल ऑफ एनालिसिस इज वेरी मच रिक्वायर्ड व्हेन इट कम्स टू माइक्रो कैप इन्वेस्टिंग. दिस इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट. अगेन आई एम नॉट गिविंग अ वर्डिक्ट कि भाई आपने खरीदना है नहीं खरीदना एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. दैट इज योर कॉल वेदर यू वांट टू बाय नॉट बाय ऑल दैट स्टफ. आई एम टेलिंग यू व्हाट एरियाज टू लुक फॉर. सो आई होप दैट दिस थर्ड पॉइंट इज क्लियर. फोर्थ पॉइंट, यू मस्ट लुक एट द प्राइस मूवमेंट हिस्ट्री. जैसे कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप नंदन डेनिम का अगर प्राइस देखोगे, तो ये इसलिए मैंने एग्जाम्पल उठाया था बिकॉज दिस हिस्ट्री इज देयर, दिस इज लाइक सिक्लिकल. एंड जैसे कॉटन जो होती है, बेसिकली जो टेक्सटाइल इंडस्ट्री होती है, दैट इज ऑल्सो वेरी सिक्लिकल इन नेचर बिकॉज इट इज बेस्ड ऑन लाइक कॉटन प्राइजेस, कितनी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग होगी, ऑल दैट स्टफ, राइट. सो यहाँ पे आप देखो कुछ आपको इंटरेस्टिंग देखने को मिलेगा, राइट, कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल ये रहा एक फेज, ये रहा दूसरा फेज, ये रहा इस तरीके का फेज, राइट, एंड दिस इज अनदर लेयर, राइट. सो 1 2 3 4. सो दिस इज वेरी वेरी सिक्लिकल. ये आपको दिख रहा है. एक और इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट, फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ पे आप वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ देखो कि भाई ये वॉल्यूम ग्रो उनका शुरू होनी थी यहाँ से, राइट, दिस पार्ट, देन इट वेंट अप. ये वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ हुई थी यहाँ पे, राइट, देन इट वेंट अप. ये वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ हुई थी यहाँ से, राइट, एंड देन इट वेंट अप. अब whenever there is like massive volume growth, so volume की वजह से स्टॉक बढ़ता है एंड इस स्टॉक में इंटरेस्ट रहता है बीच बीच में. सो दिस इज लाइक व्हाट द प्राइसिंग हिस्ट्री लुक्स लाइक. अगर नाउ इफ यू गो एंड चेक द टेक्निकल पैटर्न, नाउ दिस इज द Nandan Denim's technical pattern. So what you will figure out is that they are making higher highs. Okay, so ये higher highs हो गए. So technically it is moving in this channel, right? अब chances are that it might break out here or it might break down here, who knows, but you have to think about all these different points. But from a technical viewpoint it does not look weak despite the recent stock performance. Now again हम लोग माइक्रो कैप में क्या करते हैं कि यार माइक्रो कैप ने ना 50% रिटर्न दे दिया या 60% रन अप इट हैज गिवन. भाई प्लीज डू नॉट कंपेयर दिस 50-60% रन अप with a large cap company. Now for a large cap company, जैसे कि HDFC Bank का मैंने आपको एग्जांपल दिया, to grow from 12.5 lakh crore to 25 lakh crore, that's a very very long journey. For a company where the market cap is 500 crore to grow to 1000 crore, it's not that big a journey. Okay, so now of course this has higher risk. I'm not saying this that nothing comes without risk, but what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm trying to help you understand better the difference between micro cap, mid cap, small cap and large cap. So therefore I'm picking these two examples and helping illustrate that point. Okay, so as a summary, what I am going to do is that I am just going to quickly consolidate 5-6 key learnings. So first and foremost, if you have certain micro cap, small cap, mid cap on your portfolio and you are thinking कि यार बेच दूं PE के हिसाब से या खरीद लूं PE के हिसाब से, then please understand that for micro cap, small cap, mid cap, PE ratio does not matter that much. I'm not saying that it does not matter at all. I'm just simply saying that PE, you need to add other things. Okay, for large cap, PE matters a lot. So this is point 1. Point 2, you must look at growth potential for micro cap, mid cap, small cap type of companies. यहाँ पे भी it's important, but यहाँ पे आपको समझ में आ जाता है, right? I mean, for example, जैसे HDFC Bank है, यह ग्रो कर ही जाएगा आगे पीछे चल के. It's not as if you know बैंक का बिजनेस खत्म हो गया. And I read like a lot of analyst report regarding the recent results. Now जो loan uptake है that has slowed down or the loan book slowdown has happened. भाई ठीक है, right? I mean, it's not as if that this is the first time it is happening. It keeps on happening with HDFC Bank and all the other banks. And do you really think that if HDFC Bank is unable to lend that effectively, other banks will be able to somehow lend that effectively? No, that is an industry-wide issue. So leave that. Okay. So this growth trigger is much more important for small mid caps. What about risk? See, risk is very, very high, right? And out of 20 things that you analyze, there will be 3 or 4 bad points about any stock that you will analyze in the micro cap space. You will not find a perfect stock in the micro cap space. Now, as a हीरे ढूंढना is almost impossible. So you have to manage your risk. Now, how do you manage your risk? By diversification, by doing staggered investing, bunch of other different things, which I keep on explaining on the channel. Now, here the risk is low, right? ऐसे स्टॉक में पैनिक आ जाए कि यार 4% गिर गया, आज बर्बाद हो गए, हमारा घर बिक गया एंड ऑल दैट. नो, इट डज नॉट हैपन दैट वे अनलेस यू हैव लाइक ऑलमोस्ट 90% ऑफ योर पोर्टफोलियो स्टक इन वन बैंक. प्लीज डोंट डू दैट. अगेन फॉलो द रूल ऑफ डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नाउ प्लीज रिसर्च अ लॉट अबाउट प्रमोटर बिफोर इन्वेस्टिंग योर मनी हियर इन स्मॉल कैप, मिड कैप, माइक्रो कैप. फाइनल, देयर शुड बी नो मेजर रेड फ्लैग्स. नाउ मेजर रेड फ्लैग्स क्या होते हैं? कई बार हम ये देख लेते हैं कि यार ये प्रमोटर ने अपनी होल्डिंग बेच दी. ओके फाइन, व्हाट परसेंटेज ऑफ द होल्डिंग वाज सोल्ड and who bought it? Both these are important questions that need to be seen in context of promoter selling their holding. For example, any entrepreneur who builds a business, for example, I build businesses. Now, if my company gets listed, then of course I might decide to sell some of it. Now, it does not mean that I am not believing in that company. For example, recently, Jeff Bezos sold some of the Amazon stock. So it does not mean that he has lost confidence in Amazon stock. The important question is that, hey, why did he sell it? Maybe he is starting some other company, or maybe the promoter feels that, you know what, it might be a right time to book some profits and manage their cash flow in their personal account, whatever it is. So it's not always done with a bad intent. That's the critical point. And who is buying it, right? That's again an important question. कि for example, कई बार क्या होता है कि promoter sells it, but some other big FII, DI comes and purchases that. So now वो भी अपना फालतू पैसा थोड़ी लगा रहे होंगे, right? So that's the important point. These are advanced level questions that you need to investigate. That is the spirit with which I had shot this video, because right now you might be sitting on a lot of stocks in your portfolio that might be exhibiting very high PE. So उसमें आपने क्या करना है, उसमें आपको you have to apply this type of a framework in order to get to the right answer, whether you should be holding some of it, selling some of it or not. Now, what about Paras defense? Will I sell it? Will I not sell it? See, I cannot give like sell or buy calls and all that stuff. But I would be a little bit cautious. Now you guys read between the lines whatever I'm trying to tell you. Why? Because अब जैसे defense में बहुत ज़्यादा growth हो गई है, right? And a lot of like bullishness in defense. Already the stock PE is very high. The revenue seems to be stagnating, so to say. So I don't know. I would feel a little bit uncomfortable if I'm already holding it. Then I will cut a large part of it, so to say. But again, this is just my viewpoint on whatever I would do in my personal portfolio. This is not a push कि आपको भी ऐसे करना है, नहीं करना है. Now I taught you some frameworks. Now it's your choice how you apply that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.